Beatrice is the head of family. So very, very good morning to Brazil. Good evening to India. Good day to all over world people, those who are going to watch this program. Today we have a topic, critical thinking. Critical thinking is a topic which is directly connected with each one's life. So my heartfelt gratitude for all members of GEL, all my speakers on the screen, all my viewers, those who are watching this program through digital media, YouTube, Facebook. The topic which is directly connected to our life, and especially how we encourage critical thinking in students. It is a global need. If we talk about the definition of critical thinking is a set of procedures, set of law which is being practiced, which has come after some practicals and result. So n number of time in the life we have a fear, and we are unable to allow our kids, allow our students. We are in dilemma, they will be doing it or not, they will be failing. We don't trust, but trust me, I believe once they fail, they get more energy to pass. And once they pass, their critical thinking is being applied, it is being resolved. In 4 or 5 words, if you want to understand the critical thinking is explanation, evaluation, prediction, and at last it is a problem solving. I do believe kids are in 21st century where they have lots of problems related to their education, their personal life, hazard of electronic gadgets and electronic media. Physically, they can be free for some time, but mentally they are not free at all. So Global Edu Leaders is bringing this topic to listen to you all speakers, how you look, we can encourage the critical thinking in students. What are the best ways, means? My always focus has been experiential learning rather than we look after the literature, books. So I request my speakers, take your 4 or 5 minutes, speak from your experience. Do not refer book or the theories. They are already available on electronic media, on Google, in the library. But the practical approach which has gone through our own practical life can give better message to all my future generation, all my global kids, those who are going to face this 21st century. So as a first speaker, I would like to take Andrea ma'am. What is your call? What do you think? How we enhance the critical thinking in students? Welcome to you and over to you. My request is start with 1-line introduction, so all my viewers will come to know about you much more.
Okay. Okay, it's open. Well, good morning for me. Good evening for you. It's a special topic for me, critical thinking, because for me this is a start to everything in the life. No, this is true in the theoretical approach. The first step to spiritual intelligence, critical thinking. Yeah, the first step to spiritual intelligence is critical thinking. You know? And in my country now, because I am a Brazilian, I'm living now in Brazil after 6 years living in Europe, have a huge problem here because the people don't think critically here. There are a big problem now because the political and social issues here. Well, what is think about the practical to use your mind and think critically about the set, the environment, the people, everything in the world. For me, the first step is you think about yourself and help the others to think about yourself, not about your body, but about your feelings. And for me, the meditation is the best way to improve your skills to think about yourself. I stimulate my students and my patients, because I am a psychologist, to use the meditation to improve your skills to think about life. The other question is knowledge. Knowledge is so much important to think about life, think about environment, but not only knowledge. It's about take a reunion meeting like that in jail, because I can see the other people. I can talk with the different point of view, different point of the perspective in the world, not only Brazil or not only West, but in the West, the Asians, the African, oh my God, all the place in the world. And I can imagine that my truth, not the maybe the gel started not with this intention to promote the critical think, but when I talk with Beatriz, she is my colleague, she is a Brazilian too, it's easier to talk to her, sorry. But it's different to talk with the other people in the other part of the world and think different, thinking that I think about this stuffs. I don't know. Sometimes the words I don't have a good words in English. Sorry. I have a limitation my oral expression. Sorry. And I think this what the gel do is a so important thing to think to do. Spend our awareness, consciousness about the world. For me, this is the way, the practical way to use your mind to think and take a critical think in the world.
Perfect, perfect. I think you have touched the very important point. A person who do meditation, if you think about yourself, if you think about your own problem, then you may start. That is the right point to start about the critical thinking. I would like to take Dr. Aarti. I'm a great fan of yours. The way you moderate the session. But here a topic which you are going to justify. A right way of enhancing, encouraging critical thinking in students, in children. At school level, at higher level, and maybe at their life issues. So welcome to you, Dr. Aarti, and over to you. Start your talk with a small introduction. Let my viewers know more about you.
Thank you so much, respected Dr. S.K. Singh, sir, founder and chairperson of Global Edu Leaders. Global coordinator, Dr. Beatriz, who is a very, very close friend of mine. Global secretary, Ma'am Renata, who is very sweet and very cooperative. And all my co-speakers who have joined us from different parts of the world. So how beautifully on just one platform, the whole world is sitting to discuss on a topic which is so significant and so important. And I will not lie, Dr. Singh, S.K. Singh, sir, that I also wrote something. I also thought that I'll write and I'll speak by, taking some points through reading. But after you, ordered that do not read and do not, go by the theories, but go by the practical experience. So I have kept the papers aside, and now I will talk about my own experience and how I have seen the change in the process of critical thinking among the students in my 17 years of teaching career. So what I feel is I may be, I may not be very smooth in my speech, because as per the instructions of Mr. Singh, I have kept my papers away and I'm just discussing through my experience.
That is my request, my gratitude. No order. Why? Because I will add one line. The tagline of GEL is connecting head to heart. So
Right.
head is full of knowledge. Let's speak from heart. And we are connected heart to heart. This
Very
forum
true.
is unique, and credit goes to Beatrice, your good friend, and she is good friend of mine too. But for me, she is above me because she is a global coordinator for GEL projects.
And I call her a global citizen. So very nice. So, sir, I wish to share some of my experiences in nutshell so that I'll be able to do justice with what I really want to say. When I started teaching 17 years ago, I was into teaching 11th and 12th standard, that we call PGT here, that is postgraduate teacher. Afterwards, in 2007, I shifted to college. So when I started teaching 11th and 12th standard, I was also very young. 17 years ago, I was unmarried. So I had a different kind of, association, a different kind of connection with the students. And students actually could find a kind of, mediator between a teacher and a friend in me. And they could share, they could tell what they are feeling. But at that time, 17 years ago, our education system was altogether different from what we can see today. And that time, the letter the offer letter which we used to get contained lot of rules and regulations. And the rules also said that teachers will not share their phone numbers with the students. Teachers will, talk very minimal with the students. They will not speak much with the students. And, teachers will not take them out of class for anything to teach. Anything which has to be taught to them has to be taught in the classroom only. And I was actually not liking these rules at that time also. I was like, why teacher has to be only the person who, has to transfer the information? We have to make the students who are critical thinkers, who may think beyond the books, who may think beyond those NCERT or, syllabi or just curriculum books. So they need to discuss, because the teachers are elder to them. They need to discuss. They need to pour their heart out. They need to tell how they are thinking about life, about, their course. So, but it was not acceptable at that time. And now, when I joined Xavier's, so, fathers, our superiors, our fathers, they call us and they tell us, be frank with the students, be friendly with the students, encourage them to speak their heart out with you. See how the whole system has been changed in these 17 years. So what I mean to say here is, why all the learning has to be done in class only? If there are, smaller children, why can't we take them to the garden, and why can't we teach them through leaves, through plants, through trees, through, atmosphere, through seasons, weather? So actually we have to, tell them that nature has given so many things to us, and life and nature have so much to offer. And only when they will observe and they will absorb the nature, then only they'll become critical. And as a teacher or as a trainer, as a resource person, as all of us are sitting here, what we can do is, first thing we can do is we can motivate our students to speak in the class, because there are different kinds of students in the class. Some are very shy, very timid. They often, feel shy to speak in front of so many students. And then afterwards, when the teacher gets out of the class, they come running, ma'am, I have to ask this, because they cannot ask in front of whole class. So we should, try to make them feel comfortable in whatever they say. We must ensure that Nobody laughs on them. Nobody, makes a taboo of what they say. Is anything they want to share, because we are sitting in the era where we are talking about LGBT also. Then why not with the students? They are also a part of the society, and they are going to be the global citizens in future. So talk to them, let them come up with their ideas and views. And next thing is, we can push them for discussions. Like, we can give just a small topic, maybe, just for an example, what is your childhood memory or anything. And we should push them for discussions, coming out with whatever they are feeling, and make them participative in everything. It should not be just one-sided communication, because see, YouTube is full of information these days. So if YouTube is full of information, why teachers are needed? Why we are needed? Students can have one teacher in the class, me. But if they go to YouTube, they have, hundreds of teachers teaching the same subject which I teach. Then I should ponder, I should think that what is my role? Then what is my role if I am, I am not just to give information? Then my role is to guide the students, is to motivate them, is to make them critical thinkers, is to allow them to speak whatever they want, and not to make taboo of whatever they think. There is nothing wrong in, there is nothing right, nothing wrong. We all are grays. Nobody is born with black or white. We all are grays. So we have to tell them that even if they are thinking which does not fit in the society system, society has certain kind of like systems, and if they are thinking something or they have done something which does not fit in the system of society, then also it is okay, because we all are grays, and they're allowed to speak and think something which is not according to the norms of the society. So I think this will definitely help them to to be more open and come up with their ideas. So, sir, I have not read and as per your instructions.
Dr. Aarti, I think it is a heart-touching question, and I was expecting the same thing. Once you allow a child to open up, the best teacher says, allow my student to do the mistake.
Right.
Doing mistake is the first learning. So, Dr. Aarti, very well said. I think I'm delighted to have you here. Because once you get connected to anyone of child, that is a first step of critical thinking. Having empathy, having faith will boost the child to start thinking. If you shout, if you have a fear, I think you're stopping critical thinking. So very well said. Opening students in the class, allowing them. Rania, my Global Executive Members, Country Coordinator from Greece. Always available with the smiling face, with positive attitude. So welcome to you, and over to you. Introduce at least 2 lines about you, so viewers will come to know about your practiced profession, and then we move on. How you enhance critical thinking?
Okay. Greetings from Greece. I'm very happy to be here today. It's a wonderful topic. I'm an educator, actually STEM educator, and I'm working with primary school students, and I'm also working at the Greek Ministry of Education. So for me, trying to help children develop the critical thinking skills, it's a challenge because it's not easy for this kind of, for this age. So critical thinking skill, it's a high level skill, but children of 6 or 7 years old have been actually shown to be capable of it within the limits of their experience and their linguistic abilities. The degree to which children can make critical judgments depends on world knowledge and life experience. It of course depends on educators. So what I'm trying to do is adopt usually 3 main techniques. I can recommend these techniques to other educators. The first one is called habits of mind. The second is 6 thinking hats. It's, I think, well known. And the other one is what we call mind maps, the visual diagrams which organize the knowledge. So the first one, when we talk about the habits of mind, is first one, how to teach students to persist. first to remain focused to what I have to do. Second habit is to manage their impulsivity. What does it mean? That means that children need to take time to think before speaking or acting. So they need to take time to consider options. That means that they need to be thoughtful and considerate also of all the perspectives. Another habit is to listen with understanding and empathy. So we try to help the students to pay attention to others' thoughts, feelings, and ideas, and think very important flexibly. What means think flexibly? To help them to be able to change perspective, to be able to generate alternatives, to waive options. So this depends of our activities. For instance, through story time. Story time is very, very useful for this. Also thinking about what we call metacognition, because children need to know to be aware of their own thoughts, their own feelings, their intentions, their actions, to be able to strive for accuracy, to check their errors. And also, I can give you an example of this. One technique which is related to these habits of mind is called the brain sweat. So during this, students, for instance, have 7 minutes to grapple with a challenging world problem. The goal is not necessarily to finish the problem in this amount of time, but to spend this time only focusing on the problem and possible ways to solve it. So students can also mark it up with questions they have, what is stopping them, words they need to clarify. And when time's up, students are assigned groups where they can share ideas, come to a conclusion, the answer, and define which strategy is the most effective in finding the answer. This is the first one. It's called habits of mind. And another very, very common, I think it's very well used from educators. It's called the 6 thinking hats. It's interesting because this is related to 6 roles, 6 functions. Each thinking role is identified with a colored symbolic thinking hat. And by mentally wearing and switching hats, you can easily focus or redirect focus on the conversation or the meeting. For instance, the white hat is about facts or information. The yellow hat is about optimism, etc. And another one I said before is visual tools, very, very important because they help us organize the thinking. So we can help, we can encourage students to draw a diagram. I think children often draw a diagram by intuition when they're thinking. So this is also help us to represent the cognitive processes that we use to make sense of our world, such as comparing and contrasting or understanding the cause and effect, to classify things. So I think that these techniques, and also multiple intelligence theory also is very well used here in Greece, Harold Gardner theory. It's an old one theory, but still it's applied, especially for primary school students. It focuses on 9 intelligences, which are located in the brain. And according to this, this is based on the philosophy that each brain is unique and its children may be more or less good in one intelligence or not. One could be better in linguistic, other could be in mathematical, other would be in visual, musical, etc. So I think that we have a wide variety of techniques, of course, to encourage children to ask questions, and of course to encourage thinking in new and different ways all the time. And of course, ask open-ended questions, because because they have a more, we could say, expanded playing field, and they're open to interpretation and ideas that help children build the critical thinking skills. So I think that these techniques are would be very useful for educators to explore.
Great. I can take three major points from you. Once you talk about empathy, putting yourself into the child situation, it is already connected with the Dr. Aarti's talk. Second, the best part which I like, where you were quoting Howard Gardner, each child have 8 to 9 skills. If you enhance, if you encourage 2, 3 or 4, at least child is on. He started facing his problem. He started looking into his solution, and at a stage where he collaborate with other group of children with the same age, same class, or lower and higher. So third point I can take from you is collaborative thinking skill. Indeed, it is a really happy moment. This way we can take the critical thinking forward. I would like to take here Professor Dr. Rajiv, and Nada, I will be coming to you. You are also waiting, all speakers, and Neha ma'am, I'll be coming to you. So Professor Rajiv, I would love to know about your way, since you are dealing with the higher class students, how you encourage critical thinking in research. Research itself is a result of critical thinking, but I would love to hear you.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself and then you start.
Thank you, S.K. Singh, sir. I'm Dr. Rajiv Yadav, working as a professor in Arya Institute of Engineering and Jaipur, Technology in Jaipur. Basically, thank you, Beatrice ma'am, and thank you, Rania ma'am, and all the coordinators and administrative behind the critical thinking. You all are doing a good thing. As per my thinking that I can share with you, that means critical thinking is just something different, which is somehow at a far distance from some laptops, machines, or tabs. Because being from technical background, I can say that whenever we are more and more dependent on machines, and the students or the kids are getting far from critical thinking, because machines are learning now. You have the saying of machine learning, data science, and the people are having their ready-made algorithms. Whenever you start up in the morning, all the things are being fetched from your backgrounds, from your environments, from your traffics. Means each and everything is keep ready. What to do, how to do, where to do. Means machine is telling you. You are not telling machine what to do, but machine is capturing all your parameters or all your capturings. Since now I am having 2 kids. One is in 9th class and one is in +2. The 9th class kid is still asking the questions to me. Papa, what is it? What is it? What is it? But at that age, when we are using just our minds to think, but they are using calculators. They are using the play games, smart games. We have in India, we have a particular technique called abacus. If you have heard about, abacus is a learning mathematical tool by which the small age students, 3 to 5 years students, are kept entering in the abacus, and up to 12 years or 13 years, they are learning the tricks, how to calculate faster than calculator. That means they have some tricks based upon some beads. They can calculate whatever you give the mathematical solution problems, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Students are keep doing within their minds, and it is faster than calculator. That means we have the skills, like we have the smartphones in our hands, and most of the features are unutilized. Most of the features are unutilized. In the same sense, we can say that our mind has also the power to think, and to think is, which is maximum part is unutilized only because of these machines, as we are more dependent on machines. And one more thing that I would like to add, that in class we have traditional subjects. Traditional subject, that means all people have to do the same thing, whether they are interested or not interested. They have to keep the pedagogy accepted at their end. That means they are not able to solve the problem with their techniques and with their tricks, because each problem is different from different angle and different situations. So we have to take and we have to adopt the different process and different theories which are acceptable to the thing. But nowadays we have a boundaryless educations. We have YouTubes available. We have all the things available. As S.K. Singh sir said, that you have to present without the Google PPTs. That means you have done this. But today we are talking about all the things, but we are, because of the same age, we are having the same mentality of interactions, sharing, as well as the lectures. As Dr. Aarti ma'am said that we have been in 17 to 18 years of students. Students are learning C, students are learning C++, but they do not know who is the author of C, who is the author of the books of their, that means technical text, reading and writing is now obsolete. They have just smartphones, just they have PPTs, and just they have the sharing modes on WhatsApp and nothing else. Who is the president of India? Who is the finance minister of India? They are not bothered about anything. They are just having reckless studying just
Correct.
on their gadgets. That's what. Thank you, sir.
Perfect. Perfectly all right.
Thank you.
I think you have
Thank you.
summarized everything. Since we are being with the technical background, technology is stopping critical thinking. Still, I remember n number of time once we are supposed to reach to the Mars, and at last moment technology fails. So we start, where technology ends, spirituality start. And spirituality is also a form of critical thinking. Remembering someone, recalling positivity, going to the thoughts, going into belief. Since I'm a sports person, I have in number of time realized, suppose you are playing a last ball and you want to win, and bowler is thinking, no, I will have this dot ball. So at both end, batsman and bowler both are critical. I have to hit and he has to put the ball. And this momentum of thought comes only once child is in the practical situation. That time, encouragement of the coach, encouragement of the teacher in the class, encouragement of a head of institution from the stage, do not have a fear of failure. Go on. At least if you are not achieving, you will get something to learn. So, Dr. Nada,
One thing,
yeah,
excuse me, sir.
please.
One thing I would like to add in my points, that in India we have a saying that if you have the power to think to fight the lion, just stare the lion in his eyes, and he will also fear from you. That is just a part of thinking. The power gaining by thinking.
So,
Yes,
Dr. Nada, I would like to hear with this all, how to take this critical thinking.
Yes, good evening. I'm honored to be here today. Thank you. This is a great topic, a very important topic in education and for students and also for educators. I listened all the speakers until now. He or she is doing with the students and encouraging them and developing the critical thinkings at them. Now, Dr. Ranjev, today we are in this era, new era, today what our students do things, and we know that today students all are very, very active. How can we do that? It depends about the subject, what we teach. Like example, it is not the same when I have statistics like a subject. It's a different like example, encouraging the problem solving tasks, making students, then research how to make to develop the researcher skills, what we need to do so. And it is not the same when I have accounting or entrepreneurship at them. So from the taxonomy, and we are thinking about that. What, like example, doing the high order skill, do we the lower? So sometimes we try to get the students to remember something, but remembering is not so remember understanding, then is analyzing. So this part of analyzing is very important. In my, I'm a person who is working in a high school, in a vet high school, and also at the university. So I have a different methods, and like example, in statistics, I teach it in the high school and also on the university, and it is not what they are learning. Like example, now in Europe we had before a month, and it is still now the week. Know that coding is very important, and that is not the high school. But I encourage myself, and the best way is the competitions. We have a lot of competitions, statistic competition, entrepreneurs, trade firms. So also is not, we are not only talking about developing the critical thinking at the gifted students. We have other students with the disabilities, so that students are also in the competition. They we like educators need to make them feel good, so that students are also great, they have great results. So that is, and here today techniques that educators are using. So it's about that. It's a math test. It is creating an idea. So that, I think, different methods and different techniques we use depending about our subject teaching. And yes, if we don't have that skills like hard and all soft skills, if we are not innovative, if we are not creative, if we are not creative thinkers, how can we develop it and how can we achieve it at our students? So that is something that
Really,
each one day we are trying something new. We are experimenting, and we listen. Our psychologists would say, yes, we need to use also the techniques from psychology, sociology, and many more. Even we are not from that field. Today from us is asking that we need to know all. So that is that we need to.
wonderful.
Yes.
I think
We need
Dr.
to
Nana,
be
you have justified.
Multidisciplinary today is very necessary to develop and to make to develop the critical thinking skill students and also at us.
Your point is valid. Teaching different subject, you may have a different strategy.
Technique, yes.
The best
yes.
point which I can take from you is a Bloom's taxonomy. Remembering, understanding,
Analyzing, evaluating.
So once you go to the higher
creating.
order, creativity.
Yes.
So creativity is a result of the critical
Yes.
thinking.
Yes.
So before going to the creativity, once you allow child to create something.
Yes. Like example, if we are making if we want to develop a new product, how we are starting from the idea, first contacting literature, or if we want to make a research, we know that we need to find data. So
I will give you one example. I saw a teacher in my observation. She was teaching in the class and she gave a role scooter. So a child is driving a scooter in the class virtually.
Yes.
So this may be a first time innovation.
Yes.
But child recollects what is the sound of a scooter. A teacher is teaching, cat. Yeah. So this may be a kind of first experience of critical thinking.
Yes.
Dr. Atti Basu, I'm coming after Dr. Neha. Dr. Neha,
Hello,
how
sir.
you look into your experience towards critical thinking, and then I'll come to you, Dr. Atti.
Okay, well, it was really, really nice hearing all the speakers. And I am Neha, I am from India. And currently I'm working as an English teacher over here. And means as far as critical thinking, I suppose like critical thinking is whatever the knowledge we are having, that knowledge, how we are using it, how we are analyzing it, what ideas we have. That is all about critical thinking. And how to like encourage this critical thinking to our children, to our kids, because children, I suppose this is the time, this is the milestone which they are going to carry. Okay, so this is the time we have to teach them, we have to make them independent, we have to tell them how you're going to use your ideas, your suggestions, your opinions, that is going to be a havoc in the nearby future. So means I'm also having my kid, okay, he's studying in class 2nd. So whenever like he is studying, suppose he's studying English subject, whenever I ask him just learn these words and just tell me how, whatever you have understood, he just gets bored. He says, Mama, I don't want to study anymore because it is all bookish language. Once when we were kid, we also used to get bored, and like whatever we used to study, we used to get marks, but not that much marks what we were expecting, because what we were doing, we were not learning it with practical knowledge. We were just cramming it all, and we were just like in a line that we will just bring some good marks and that's all. Our goal was like that. But now critical thinking is something that we have, whatever the talent, whatever the knowledge, whatever the ideas we have to brush it up and we have to show our talent. Means we all people, our children, we all people are so much talented and we all are so much equipped with new ideas, but that is not coming it out. Why? Because we, as all the contestants have already been told, because we all are just like just reading it with books and working in laptops, and whatever the teacher is telling, we're just learning it up and that is our goal. No, we should be self-aware. Self-awareness is the point about critical thinking. We should know ourselves, whatever the talent, what strength, what weakness we are having, and we should work upon that. And that is only going to create a success in the long-term run. Because see, our mind is something, means if you are learning, okay, it's going to store for a short span of time. But whatever you are seeing it, whatever you are visualizing it, that is going to work for the long run. Because I have worked as a HR recruitment field. To be very honest, I didn't want to work in that, but it was like something which I have to do. It was my job and I was not able to achieve that much success. But what passion you have, suppose my passion is in speaking, my passion is in English teaching, which I like, which I came to know in the very after time, means after marriage, I came to know, yes, I am good in this, I should work on that. And definitely means to all the speakers, I would like to say, means whatever the results I am seeing, it is quite contradictory, and it's quite, means I am seeing the success in me. Means I am earning how much I am earning, but the satisfaction it is whatever I am having, that is quite evident. So
Really
means
great.
this,
If we achieve everything, still something is missing. So
missing.
someone is happy with the happiness, someone is happy with the money, but again happiness gone.
Gone, exactly.
Someone has everything, but is still searching something. If
Something.
I'll give you one quote regarding APJ Abdul Kalam, what he used to say: if you want to see the real talent, see the last bench of the school. It's not the boy who is sitting in front and always answering the question, because he is also innovating. Actually, the best critical thinking is sitting at the last bench of the school classroom. Dr. Aditi Vasu, my gratitude
So
to
much.
you.
It's
I am
always a pleasure. Yes, sir.
Your closing comment as a last speaker on this critical thinking topic, and I'm sure your smile along with Dr. Arati, along with Rania, keep smiling. Nana, everyone is on the screen, and Beatrice is the source of inspiration. So how you look into critical thinking in the children?
Pleasure to be here. You know, I wait for this, that when is this going, and when I can't join, I really feel bad for some reason if I can't join. And really, and all of them spoke so well. Andrea ma'am, she as a psychiatrist, psychologist, she spoke about how she treats her clients, I mean the patients, and how she deals with critical thinking, empower. And also that was Aarti talk how her heart out, means her experiences, and so did Dr. Rajiv, that how they are experienced and that. And also Nada ma'am, she spoke about the Bloom's taxonomy and how we can imbibe the critical thinking in subject teaching, every subject teaching. And also Rania ma'am, her smile is really very infectious. And Rania ma'am, she spoke about, I love that 6 thinking hat of Edward de Bono, the idea of 6 thinking caps. This 6 thinking caps is really very nice. When you put on this cap, you are thinking on this line. That's very idea. Edward de Bono was a champion in propagating the idea of lateral thinking and critical thinking. So I'll tell you 2 anecdotes or story in this line. One is that I was a facilitator in Quality Circle, TQM, Total Quality Management. And when I was in DAV and also in St. Joseph, I was the facilitator in Students Quality Circle. I mean, many of you may be aware of the Quality Circle movement. So there we had to, we had to point out some problems of the student, and they, by brainstorming and certain processes, they just solve it. So we identified certain, and I mean, this was during the exam time. So we identified some 6 problems. First problem was because exam time, so how to deal with the exam stress and anxiety. And the 6th problem was they had always some of the children, they had behavioral issue. So 6th problem was how to deal with the behavioral issue. So while we were discussing this, how to deal, exam stress and how to overcome that. So a boy came running and he said, you know, Saurabh has beaten up this boy, and he came running. So one of the boys said, hush, sit down. This is our 6th problem. Sit down quietly. So that is what as critical thinking is. When we are talking about one problem, when other problem comes in. So I said, no, this is not our problem. So we'll think it out later. So another funny thing is when I was looking at this thing, I was reading De Bono. I'm very great fan of De Bono, Edward de Bono. So there are lateral thinking also. So I'll give you some situation. Because I think to deal with students, you have to give them situations, give them some problem to solve, as every maths teacher. But English teacher might be also giving, and the sociology teacher, psychology teacher has to give some challenges, some ideas too. So I'll give you some challenges. Okay. First challenge. Are you ready to take challenge? All ready to take challenge? Yes. First question. First question. A man was driving past a bar and he was severe hiccups. Okay, hiccups. So he walked into the bar and asked the bartender to serve him a glass of water. Instead, the bartender took up a gun and put it on his head. The man was shocked, and after that, he said, thank you, and went back. Why? Tell me why. This is the lateral thinking. So why did the man did say when the bartender put a gun, why did he say thank you and went out? All right. So what do you think?
Shall I give it a try?
Yes.
Ma'am, first of all, your background is so beautiful that it says it all. It is actually complementing the theme of today's session. I see unlimited possibilities when I look at my students. And ma'am, secondly, your smile, the kind of positivity on your face you have, I am telling you, ma'am, we see you and we are like, we are done with the daily dose of positivity. Thank you, Aditi ma'am. And ma'am, I have not heard it before, but what I can think about this is probably because of the fear of the gun or fear of being shot, his hiccups stopped. Probably that's why he said thank you.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
Was it?
Yes. That's so. Another one, last one, and then I'll give it to Beatrice ma'am. Always, I'm a great fan of S.K. Singh sir and Beatrice ma'am. So the next problem. Okay, ready to take challenge? a man who was very, lazy, and he did not want to walk. So he stayed in the 22nd floor of a building. But every day he dropped down at 18th floor and walked up. Although he was very lazy and he did not want to, why did he walk up to his 22nd floor? Who will say this? Think. So again, I repeat, a man was very lazy, did not want to work. He stayed in 22nd or 21st floor of a building, and every day he got down at 18th floor and walked up the stairs. So why did he do?
ওডিওতে জয়েন করুন মাওলানা মোহাম্মদ বাদা মানে তোমার কাউ থাকবো শেষ করে যায় না
Saying something, answer. Samim sir, are you giving the answer? But I don't understand your language, sir. Yes, it might be. You can come up with other ideas. It might be the man was too short to press the button of 22nd floor. How do you like it? So that is, you have to give challenges. What I mean is that there's a very beautiful books by, written by Edward D. Bono, and one of the how to make children think. So there he is saying that you have to give challenges to children. And every subject, we have lots of challenges, lots of problems. You give them the problem to solve. All right. Thank you so much. And I'm waiting for the next session. And really, it's a wonderful thing to be associated with you all. So someday, please come to Delhi. Someday we'll all meet up. Okay, everybody. What
everyone is waiting? Greece, Brazil, India. So very soon,
Yes.
maybe God will create some opportunity to reach you.
Maria ma'am, we want you also. Come to Delhi. We'll have a great fiesta.
May I have Dr. ASM Samim?
Yes, I'm here, but I have some network issue. I'm just staying in the rural areas of Bangladesh,
Please,
so I cannot appear with the video.
proceed with the audio for 2 minutes.
Yes, I'm going on, and the topic of this seminar or the webinar or the international conference is critical thinking. Since I'm a professor of English language and literature, I taught my students about the research and what is critical thinking I know about, and what I perceive regarding this point, that is whatever we chose. Suppose a young man at our university, when I teach my mature students, they got a relationship between each other, especially with the boys and girls. But what is the rationale behind this? Why a boy get relationship with another girl, and what will be the options? We should find out the rationale. We should find out the question that why and how. And this is the point of critical thinking. And if a man want to get married, and he or she will have to think some certain points, and he or she will have to meet up some certain points also. And all spheres of our life, each and every events in our life, we should have the critical thinking. We should have that type of cognitive development, that why I'm doing this. I'm purchasing an iPhone. Why should I purchase an iPhone with the expense of $1,000? Or whether the Android phone is available with $100. But I will have to find out some rationale, that these are the rationale, these are the standing points. I will have to purchase this iOS phone. So what I think that in this critical thinking, each and every human being should have the critical thinking, especially the learned person or the professors, those who are teaching at the university level or the schools or the colleges or the different level. It can be a primary level, tertiary level, or secondary level. That each and every teacher should have the critical thinking. And each and every human being, those who are learned, those who are leading the society, those who have the expertise to humanize the human being, those who have the leadership skills they must have the critical thinking. Without critical thinking, we cannot take right decision. We cannot take proper decision. And in case of child rearing up, this is a very vital point, because the childs are our dynasty. They are our successor. They are the successor of the society. They are the progeny, and they are the next generation of those who will lead the nation, those who will lead the globe. So they are very potential potential materials or the raw materials to our society, to our nation, or the global citizen. So we should create that type of sense of feeling that they should have the critical thinking, whether they should choose, why they should study a lot, why they should contribute themselves into playing or games or sports to get the physical health, why they need to have physical or mental therapy, why they need to have caring attitude, why they need to have tolerant attitude. These are the critical point, and each and every I think each and every parent should have this type of critical thinking, that my kids, my son, my daughter should be very much tolerant, should be very much studious, should be very much industrious. And this is my sense of belongingness, since I have been teaching at a university for
Great.
12 years long. Yes. Should I proceed?
Perfect,
Hello?
perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Should I
much.
Okay, thank you so very much. I'm very much sorry, since I am staying in the remote area in Bangladesh.
So
I cannot
perfectly
join
all
you.
right.
I cannot help you with the
I
video,
really
please.
appreciate your effort joining us from the remote area. Here, Sheetal is there. She wanted to say something. She is on connect.
Yeah, sure.
Sheetal Kapadia.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Very good, good morning, good evening. And it's really, I would thank you all to invite me here, especially to Dr. Rajiv Yadav. And it has been a great learning, I would say, here. And while I was listening, first point, what Dr. Aarti said, I would really she said was very right. Why don't we take critical thinking, the first point, why don't we take students out, apart from the four walls outside? As I would like to quote, as Dr. Charles Darwin has said, it is the survival of the fittest. And I think, this survival of the fittest, the theory of evolution was again one of the point of critical thinking. We humans are different because we think. And that's how we have made the difference. So if we take the way we take our students out, they will learn what are the challenges that even animals today are facing, or how the nature, what are the challenges when we would work. I think, our creativity would show, and we would not be, again, slaves of machinery. Second thing, as she said again, it was a right point, failure. Failure, yes. Failure is a first best part of critical thinking, because that says, yes, we are trying. The person is trying, thinking, making the attempt. And as even Dr. Rajiv Yadav had said, I would really like that point about the animal, even the lion face. I think, our thinking is the main thing that makes us, it's like, as they say, we win with our thoughts, our boldness. And that is, it's how we think. That's how we grow. And that is, and I think Dr. Neha had said, as she has been with students more, even her points were very true, that yes, we have to give it a try. So it was actually a great learning. Thank you all. And I would really like to join further with this.
Okay, so I think Renata, I have got another member for GEL. Invite Sheetal ma'am to be part of GEL, because GEL is gelling with all GEL. Gelling with this whole universe. It was a very small journey, but people got connected. Each one of you, those who have positivity, we are lucky to have you all. Because see, when I started this, I was not having in mind. I just wanted people should reflect their experience rather than going to the Google, going to the book. Experiential learning takes place once you, suppose there is a water, two form, hot and cold. If you see the water, you cannot decide it is hot and cold. Once you take the water in, Only you can realize it is hot and cold. So anyway, if I take from Rania, if I take from Professor Rajiv, if I take from Dr. Aarti, Dr. Aditi, and Nada, along with Andrea, who has started, look into yourself, explore yourself. Every speaker have justified the thought, because critical thinking is a experienced process of achieving something, but at least everyone is open-ended. It's nothing closing problem, it's opening problem. Any type of problem may occur into your life at any time. If I give you one example, all the sea boats are fighter jets, they coming with double engine. Why? In spite of having sophisticated technology, there is a chance of failure. Space rocket is being sent with the 2 to 3 engine, one will not work, so another one will work. It means, I think nature has made us strong. These seasons, practice of worship, different way of going with a different thought, but reaching to one God Almighty, who may be Allah, who may be Jesus, who may be Krishna, who may be Ram, or anyone. GEL is a family where all members of GEL are reflecting their experience and inner core happiness, and which we want to spread all over global world. We are no more country, we are no more religion, we are no more. Because if you put into inverted comma, ultimately, if you are born, you have to go one day. People will remember what you left behind. If you are leaving money, if you are leaving property, people may remember you for some time. But if you are leaving some thoughts, any one of the great person, you take example of Mother Teresa, you take example of Martin Luther King, you take example of Mahatma Gandhi, those who have contributed to this universe, they are being remembered. So my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to all speakers for being here. Closing this show is not possible without the hard effort of our global coordinator Beatrice Lucia and global secretary Renata. So over to you, Beatrice, and welcome to you.
I'm so happy today because I have a lot of friends around me today here at GEL. So I would like to thank to the people who are following here, to the panelists for the detachments and skills that brought their contributions, Renata for the fundamental support, Global Edu Leaders in particular, to the founder and chairman SK Singh, always concerned with education and the well-being of children and young people. I start from the principle that we need to have emotional intelligence to be able to conduct skills for children from the cradle. Because we have if we have emotional intelligence as the ability to recognize and name our own emotions and the emotions of others. When work with the child from an early age, the tendency is for them to become a person capable of building healthier relationships and making conscious choices. Thinking critically helps to raise questions about your own feeling. What am I feeling? Where does it hurt? What made me this way? Perceiving the other also becomes a natural skill. What made this person act like this? How is she feeling? This is not possible to expect the school to teach, but the school has a role in the development of critical thinking. The school is, for excellence, the environment for critical thinking. After all, it is the second biggest reference for children and adolescents, next to the family. However, the family environment is often marked by a more closed culture and values with the classroom being the place where contact with a more heterogeneous perspective occurs. The possibility of bringing together children and adolescents with the most different histories and visions of the world in the same place is already one of the great reasons for the educational institution to be a favorable environment for critical reflection and for the generation of the ability to question our certainties. But I think it's necessary for the child to be better understand the importance of developing the skill in childhood. It is worth nothing that critical thinking is different from critically. It is not about forming individuals who have value judgments about everything and everyone, but rather to encourage the ability to logically and consciously assess different situations. This is my humble opinion. Thank you, everybody, for being here today.
Thank you, Beatrice. Indeed, it is a great pleasure to have you all for this episode. Hope to have more experiential learning on the screen and connect you again. So wish you all the best. Happy weekend in advance. Catch you to the next show. My special gratitude to Beatrice along with Dr. Aditi, Dr. Andrea, Dr. Rania, Professor Rajiv, Dr. Nada, and as well as Dr. Aarti. This is a journey. We have to take this journey forward. We are not ending up. In fact, day by day, we are starting up. I do believe you may travel to head to heart, shortest distance, but we take longest time. Our objective to share knowledge and share a smile on the screen, which reaches from Brazil to Greece, Greece to India, India to every part of the globe. At last, what I would like to say, we will be remembered for only our good thoughts, good vibes. We will not be remembered for other than share, care, and learning. So that's all for today. Hope to see you with the same smile, with the same energy in another show. And thank you, Renata, always being back of a screen. Thank you, Beatrice, taking this show up to a greater height. Thank you.
Thank you,
and bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the moderator, sir. You are the captain of our team.